Professional Master William Paschall here. We're going to be playing Blitz and Blitz, 5+3 Blitz against all comers on the stream. This is not just for the subscribers, for everybody who has at least 100 games. If you'd like to challenge me, we're playing 5+3 casual Blitz on Lichess. I called it Open Challenge, Open Mic Night. So, Open Mic Morning. What is up, guys? Hopefully the stream is looking okay. With no drop frames. Our CPU is functioning. Soltigo, sorry we're starting a little bit late here. We have a busy morning where I'm at. So Friday morning usually a little tough. This morning stream, I'm used to doing the evening streams. The morning getting it coordinated and running in the morning a little bit tough. We got a challenge from Niels, and I try to pronounce names correctly, but I start saying things like an American a lot, like Aronian. All right, Nils Swint. We're going to accept this challenge, 5+3 casual. You guys just feel free to challenge me. I'm going to take as many of the challenges as I can. I don't know, what is he playing against e4? I forgot. I played mostly d4, knight f3. Oh, interesting. So the Peertz defense, perhaps. Have I played e4 against you, Nils? Maybe I didn't. Don't remember. I remember the Grunfeld. Actually, do you play Grunfeld? What am I thinking? You play Grunfeld? Why am I thinking that? All right, I don't know. I'm still waking up. It's not really a Peertz. It's knight bd7. This is weird. Okay, let's just do g3. I don't want to be confrontational. It's Philidor. It's a Peertz. It's both. It feels like Dr. Seuss. It's the Lorax. It is what you want it to be. For me, it's a Peertz or a Philidor, whatever you guys want to call it. Here with these stuffed animals. Hello, my name is Matsuko, and I've been invited here by my friend, my best friend, the panda. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. We were sleeping late. That's my friend Matsuko. He's here as special guest. But I'm the panda, and I'm the chess player in amongst the stuffed animals here. So, everyone, welcome. 5+3 challenges, and good luck. So, anyway, stuffed animal toys aside, c6, a4. I'm playing the white side of the Peertz. You can put your bishop where you want to put it. You can put it on e7. You can put it on g7. Yeah, you play the Grunfeld. But you know what? What's tricky is I started questioning myself. There's this other player, Haberbaum. He also plays the Grunfeld, and I started to wonder, am I confusing with him? Okay, a4, a5. Don't forget Panda when I go to Hungary. Soltigo, this happened last year. Panda was actually left in the United States, and it was a terrible tragedy. That's why Panda only started really streaming here when I got to the US, because he was actually abandoned, and Matsuko was his friend. His good friend. Rufus and Doofus, welcome everybody. So we don't want to forget the Panda here, and he's gonna come to Hungary next week when I leave. Alright guys, 5+3 challenges. Welcome to the stream. Clash Kid, good to see you. I know hopefully you can be like more involved in the stream. You know that I'm going to move back to Budapest for 6 weeks. It's not a long time. 6 weeks Budapest, then I'm coming back here to the United States. About 7 weeks, then going back, or 6 weeks, another 6 weeks. Then I'm going to be going back and forth. So you never know. My stream times will be changing up every month and a half or so. You're just going to ask if Panda was going to go. Yeah, Panda is going to go. He was abandoned. Accidentally left in the United States last year, but he had friends to keep him company, like Master Fugu is not going to come with us. Master Fugu is going to remain here. He's a stationary part of the environment here. So, h3, what is Nils thinking about? I don't know. H3, typical prophylactic move, taking control of g4. We just have a safe king side. And this is my first game, so I'm just getting warmed up. Didn't have a good coffee today, Mr. Coffee. I had some really kind of bad ground coffee from Dunkin' Donuts sitting around. That's all I had access to, and it wasn't really a pleasant experience. Okay, h3, rook e8. Now f4 comes to mind. Should we just try to play f4? Is that too aggressive here? Bishop e3, rook e1. He's going to transfer bishop f8, standard idea. I'm just wondering, should I play? Yeah, should I play for f4? How early should I play it if I decide to play for f4? Key question. And where's my queen going? Is it going to d2? Is it going to d3? d3 looks kind of exposed. My bishop is unprotected on the file here if I play f4, which is always something to watch out for. Yeah, Mr. Coffee, I never really asked you what the story is behind your handle, Mr. Coffee. I mean, doesn't have to be a deep reason. Maybe you just were making the name and you looked around and you saw your coffee maker sitting there or something. I don't know. There can be many reasons. So the pressure here indirectly, if I play f4, pawn takes d4, knight takes d4, and you can mount a lot of pressure on the e4 pawn, I'm thinking. My main concern at this point would be something like black mounting pressure on e4. And I don't really love playing f3. In other words, f4, pawn takes f4, pawn takes f4, or sorry, f4, pawn takes d4, knight takes d4, and then knight c5, and I really can't protect my pawn. My ponda. What do we do? g4 comes to mind. For lack of a better move. That's his real birth name. I play poker with a guy, and he's actually a coffee machine repairman. And so everyone calls him Coffee George. Isn't that odd that the coffee guy from Hungary is also named George? Strange fact. Yeah, very odd that his name is Gyuri in Hungarian. George is George, Gyuri. g4, knight g3. Reasons behind handles are interesting. My nice cousin, old man, called me Clash Kid, and that I'm not normal after a very tactical and crazy game. I don't think any of us are normal for playing chess. Mr. Coffee with the Illuminati. Well, yeah, I mean, when I hear the name Clash Kid, of course, any kind of older or middle-aged people would be, thinking of the famous punk band, The Clash. Which I think is timeless, by the way. I mean, you could be like a young person and listen to The Clash. They're really a great band. But you never know why someone would be named Clash Kid. So there's a lot of pressure here on e4. Mr. Coffee, you just like coffee or you work in the coffee industry. e4 is protected now. So I'm going fully Karpov style, like f4. Do we have any problems here? I don't think so. Queen b6 looks sort of insane to attack my b2 pawn. Unlike the King's Indian, I mean, it's typically okay to play like bishop takes d4. Actually, it was someone called me a while back because I drank so much coffee. Yeah, actually, Mr. Coffee, I did see. I thought I saw in a photo there was a coffee in a photo involving you. But that reminded me of a story which I've told in the stream before. My friend Joe was playing this tournament game against Grandmaster Tony Miles, and speaking of coffee and Dunkin' Donuts, Joe, we were playing in the New York Open, and Joe, it was a morning game. Joe had to run and get a big coffee at Dunkin' Donuts before the game started so he could wake up to have to play Miles. And when Joe sat down at the board, he had this one of those giant coffees, it's just massive, that Americans drink. Like, Europeans are offended by this, and I kind of feel like I understand. But these huge coffees, it's like difficult to understand, for a European. But this is our stream where we're basically doing it for the European guys. So I think this is applicable to our discussion today. Miles was like not offended by the size of the coffee because of his taste, but the coffee was so big that it was like in front of Joe at the board, and it was almost like a half foot high or whatever, I don't know, 8 inches, 9 inches high. And like Miles was like, he couldn't see the board normally. Like, it was actually towering over him, like shadowing, casting a shadow on the board. And it was very disturbing to Tony. So he didn't say anything though. Like, he really, I guess, should have said something because he freaked Joe out. Like, he just like reached his hand across the board like during the game, and Joe didn't know what was going on. He thought like Miles was he thought Miles was like resigning or something. Like, what is happening here? It was just really funny. All right, let's get my king to a safe place. I don't know what to do here. Really tough time deciding on a move while I'm telling this story. But so Miles's hand just like came across the board on his time. Like, Joe couldn't understand what was going on, and I can't blame him. I mean, it is a strange thing. But the hand came across the board, but he didn't reach out for like a handshake, resign. He didn't say anything like, I offer a draw, take it. He just like picked up Joe's coffee and moved it. It was just really weird. So here, knight h5. Nils just kind of left stuff hanging, I guess. I guess we'll take this. Some risk involved, I suppose. The old rookie 6 not played. Now we have this crusher knight d5 in the works. I don't know if black has a defense there. I mean, obviously I could take on f6, but I was trying to set this up with knight to d5. So he just freaked my friend out. Like, he couldn't understand where the hand was coming across. The reasons behind my handle are definitely not interesting. Initials and birth year. Alright, so the Serbian villain. I don't know, it's just like, it looks like villain. The beginning of his name, it has like some of the letters from villain. So I call him the Serbian villain. Rakesh, cool. PQ. Okay, we got a couple European players. This is cool. Welcome, guys. Nils, thank you for the game. He was sleepy on the bishop takes f6. So, alright, what are we going to do? We played e4 round 1. Let's try a d4 game. Thank you for the 100 donation. Yeah, I made my handle Sparkle Horse because I was listening to that band a lot at the time when I created the account here on Lichess. Knight c3. I'm allowing the Grunfeld. Nils is like, why don't you play this against me? Alright. I have played different stuff against the Grunfeld over the years. I've been getting a lot of fianchetto type of setups because they're just like transpositions from knight f3, g3 on move 1 and move 2. But I really don't like playing the fianchetto against the Grunfeld. It's not so critical. I just played bishop e2, but I think I'm supposed to play, wait, rook b1? No, this is correct. I'm supposed to play bishop e2 first and then rook b1. Sometimes I get questioning move orders that I don't use every day. 9, rook b1. Queen a5. Funnily, that's the word or not. We'll have to consult Donald Trump. But oddly enough, Queen a5 is a move that I played, if I remember correctly, many years ago. I thought it was considered an inaccuracy because of this move that was played against me by Victor Delgado. Rook b5. But I get confused sometimes. I've had this in Blitz here on Lichess before. You're supposed to exchange pawns first and then play Queen a5 in this line. So Nils is saying rook b1 first, 8 rook b1 first. Bishop e2 is definitely playable. But yeah, you're right, Nils. I am supposed to play rook b1. It ended up working in my favor because it tricked him into playing this weird move order. So I'm a little bit not awake yet. And I haven't been playing the rook b1 line because it's just too well known. Everybody knows this line. It used to be fun 20 years ago. But it ceased to be fun when everybody knows the theory, you know, and literally everybody knows the theory now. I'm suddenly, like, concerned. But I have rook takes c5, bishop takes d4. Rook takes c8, fortunately. But there could be other problems. Because as Nils pointed out, this isn't really the right move order for me, I guess. My bishop's already on e2, and I'm supposed to have played rook b1 first. You can also play bishop e3. No, I mean, bishop e3, dude, is the main line. Like, definitely, bishop e3, like, straight away. Without knight f3. With knight f3, that's a line. You know, it's a line, yeah. To play bishop e3 without even playing knight f3, that's probably, like, the most popular line overall, theoretically. So b6 looks kind of cool, like a decent move. But I think I might have a small edge here. Let's try something safe. Wimpy, but safe. Forcing an exchange of queens into a very, very slightly favorable endgame for white. Maybe it's not even that much, though. Maybe it's just equal. It's difficult to say. I have a strong center. He has the queenside majority. It's kind of a typical Grunfeld. But only time will tell if this is really an advantage for white or not. I mean, I'm quickly on the c5 with threats of penetrating on c7, so I thought maybe I've got something here. All right. Hey, dude. Arsenal, are you European? He's not of the continent. Knight d7. He's continent, but he's not of the continent. Knight d7 here. Looks kind of passive for black, doesn't it? I'm starting to like this. You can tell by Nils's excellent English skills that he's Dutch. Like, all Dutch people speak English, practically. e6, and very well. All right, rook c7. I don't want to make stupid jokes. They probably speak English better than Americans. No, e6, castles here, rook e1. All right. You can make fun of my own kind. So rook d8, rook c1, and he's freeing up his bishop to go nowhere, basically. All right. So knight f6 is the threat. Is it a threat, though? Can I get a spot on Sunday Simul's? I don't take advanced reservations, but I'm not doing a Simul to Shark this week. I'll be traveling this weekend, so. All right. Very good looking position here. Nice endgame advantage. But is knight f6 a problem? Shouldn't really be a problem. Bishop g5, anybody? Kind of like bishop g5. Yeah, your education at the university is fully English, so my English should be decent. Yeah, but notoriously, I've always noticed that the Dutch are probably like maybe the best in all of Europe in terms of speaking English. All right, rook e8, rook c1. Not to say that people don't have accents and stuff, but here he's got knight f6 now, but I can just defend with bishop d3. So this looks like a very good ending. Knight f6, right? We could jump in and attack f7, but I don't think we're quite ready yet. There's bishop b5. Ooh. Bishop b5. We're getting close to something. Bishop b5, rook b8, and he just keeps hanging on. Alright, he's fast though. Look how fast he is. I could just trade. This seems kind of wimpy. To take on f6 in order to win a pawn, like give up the bishop pair in order to win a pawn here. I feel like I'm making a concession. Knight takes e4 is obviously possible at some point. Not at this point, but at some point. What's the best move? I don't know. Bishop c6 doesn't do anything. Wait, it does. Alright, I'm dreading and freaking out about nothing, I guess. Do you have knight e8 there? In that position? Just swipe the pawn. Okay, guys, we're doing a 2-hour stream today. Not 2.5 hours. That's the best I can do. I'm going to be taking a break, traveling to Europe, and I'll be back next Friday. So it'll be 6 days without a stream. So the next time will be next Sunday from Budapest. But, I mean, you will always be welcome in the simul, man. We win the exchange here or not? Not quite. He's got rook b6. Quite. He'll have to sack the exchange. Maybe we can just win that beautiful exchange. Bishop c7. Or bishop d6 first. He has to give it up. He's down a clear exchange, basically. 500. Is this enough for the flight ticket? Absolutely. What am I doing now? I just kind of didn't think about the last move too much. d5. 5 plus 3. Thank you so much for the generous donation, Nils. 500. Because I complimented him. I complimented him on his English. No, he's just trying to support the stream. Thank you so much. I'm a bad businessman. I know that, you know, and that's why I'm a chess player, because I decided to stop studying economics, graduate with a psychology degree, and then become a professional chess player. If I really was a good businessman, I would have stuck with something in the business world. And yeah, that's the story of my life. Kids, don't learn to be professional chess players if you want to make a lot of money. That's my first advice to you. You know, be well off like Morphe or something. You know, have wealth in your family already. Then you're all set to become a professional chess player. It helps to be rich. Yeah, poker too. Absolutely. You know, I highly recommend that you're independently wealthy if you want to become like a professional poker player. It's a huge advantage. But, you know, if not, you can still probably make it. Basically, if you want to do anything, it helps to be like filthy rich. You'll be better at it. All right. In all seriousness now, we got that pawn down very powerfully here. I can play knight e5. We're going to try to score a touchdown. American football season just around the corner. Yeah, I was quite serious about poker. I spent about the better part of like 8 or 9 years of my life not playing chess in the last decade. But we're back to chess full time. I don't play anymore. I mean, I'm basically retired from playing poker seriously, and I play just like in home games with friends and stuff. No money. No money, no poker bankroll, and no play. The whole culture of online poker changed so much, you know, that it's totally different. But it's not as profitable as it used to be. Anyway, I don't want to spend my life playing poker. I'm happy playing chess. I love chess, you know. This is my first love. So we're back to doing this. PQLLED. This stream is really for you guys who are in Europe. It gives us a chance to give the European guys, a time that they can actually play at. But we are going, ironically, back to Budapest, as I said earlier, on Tuesday. So I'll be streaming from next Friday from Budapest again. All right. Nils, take care. Thank you for the donation. And I will see you from Budapest next week. The schedule will be changing, and I'll be doing streams from the morning time, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, like I used to, I think. Budapest time, 10 a.m. That's 4 a.m. for the American guys, so it's going to get a little tough for the Americans on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays, I'll be doing evening streams from the Budapest time zone. So Central European time, it'll be something like afternoon time USA. So bishop d3 here. I'm trying to remember what I have considered in this position. I guess I'm supposed to play knight e7. Does that seem right? So I'm just accepting all challenges. 5 plus 3. 41 viewers here. Try to get the stream up to 75 viewers. It would be awesome. A regular 75 viewers. We're running at around 50, which is what we've been doing for the past year. I'd like to get more. Knight f3 now, blocking the f pawn. That's actually the main line. Like after bishop f5, I guess f4 is main line. I've also played f6. So here it's a little hard to get black into the game. Tomorrow's Carlsen Caruana, yes. And the day after that is Carlsen Mamedyarov Carlsen, which is even bigger in my mind. Even though they're not going to be able to play a match, I really want to see what happens in the next Mamedyarov Carlsen installment. So, 2 really important games Clash Kid in a row at the St. Louis tournament. I think hugely important. I mean, poker was popular with chess players since I started. I mean, it's like you hear about it more and more in the recent history. But I mean, the truth is that like when I started playing poker, like, okay, I started when I was a kid, but I mean, when I started playing poker online, like that was like back when the very first poker sites started coming out, around like 2002, 2001. And even then, man, I mean, there was a lot of people in the know who were chess players who were getting into poker. It's at a very, very late stage now, I mean, we're talking like 2000. Then you were in, you were in the know. Like if you got into poker, like when Dan Harrington, and I mean, he was a lot of people don't know this, but like Dan Harrington was a chess master. He actually played at the Boylston Chess Club in Boston, like years before I arrived there in 1990. So there's a lot of chess players for years that were into poker, but you only hear about the later ones. Okay, queen d3. I traded on d3. I don't know why. I need a plan, though. Let's just be practical. I'm going to play h5 here to kind of carve out an outpost for my knight on f5. White is better in this position. I don't play the Nimzovich that much, and it looks like I didn't handle this too well. I think white is just better. Just more space, and I didn't really come up with something concrete. All right, h5. Yeah, so back on the chess conversation, again, like Clash Kid said, huge game tomorrow. Kind of talking about this with a master friend of mine. There's some discussion, I guess, with the commentators, too, about Caruana Carlsen, naturally. The question is, like, would these guys hold back their preparation? And somebody was saying, I guess that, okay, it's very important, the St. Louis tournament, but come on. I mean, the St. Louis tournament, it pales in comparison to the World Championship. And so I really think they'd be apt not to want to give away their preparation. So I don't think that, you're going to see like anyone giving away any secrets in the game Caruana Carlsen. But to be honest, to be perfectly honest, Magnus doesn't really focus that much on opening theory. and as much as other world champions. So, he's not like a guy who relies on secret novelties like Kasparov or, some players, Karpov and Kasparov, in those matches they had, and he was so important theoretically. Magnus he's so good tactically. He doesn't have to rely on memorizing as much opening theory. Anyway, I'm talking a lot here while PQLOD just keeps increasing his space advantage. I don't like this position at all. Nicely played by white. Now the knight's coming to c5, possibly. Try to do our best George Meyer imitation. Playing the French defense, George Meyer, I noticed one game he played where he just let white stick a knight on c5, just trade it off, and then play with two knights against bishop and knight. I mean, it looks like black is cramped, but it's not, not that bad, actually. Does white really want to let me trade that off? I don't know. You think Caruana Carlsen will be a draw? You mean the game tomorrow? Yeah, the betting sites will probably favor draw. Mamedyarov Carlsen would have been nice. Yeah, man, I'm really sorry that the World Championship. I mean, I've said this a billion times, but I'm just so sorry that the World Championship is determined. The match is determined by a tournament. Rather than a series of matches. Because it's random, and the result of a tournament, I mean, talk about poker, Imagine, poker, one tournament means nothing, and so statistically, even in chess, one tournament means nothing. We're determining, the challenger to the World Championship based on the result of one tournament. It's sort of stupid, I think. It's just, chess is not a game of luck, but at the same time, in any given tournament, I mean, you could have, a different winner every single time around. But whatever, okay, it's a way to determine who's going to play. All right, so f6. The matches would be better, the old school candidates matches. It's just, I'm just glad it's not like Anand or something where he's just going to get slaughtered. Caruana has a chance. Look how well Karyakin did in the last match. He almost won. And nobody I think at the outset, maybe not nobody, but almost nobody thought Caruana had a really legitimate chance, and it turns out he quite did. He practically won the match. I mean, so I would think if Karyakin can do it, then why Caruana can't? You know what I mean? That would be my simple argument. But the format before Fischer became champion was cool. They had 6-game matches. Yeah, exactly. I think you get a better, more accurate determination of who's the better player from matches. The other thing is, if you're going to have a match World Championship, then you should really have matches to determine who the player is. You want to have a World Championship tournament? Okay, then have tournaments to determine who is qualifying for the World Championship tournament. So if the final format is a match, then, it makes more sense to me to have the qualifiers to be matches. So finally, we're starting to get some kind of play here. Semi-bad bishop against kind of active knights. But it's still not easy to break through. Having a little trouble breaking through here. Maybe the G file. I got no good squares for my knights to go to, actually. H4, the problem is he plays H3, and it's very hard for me to control the white squares with that H pawn on H3. I just had a bad thought. All right, we take toward the center. I really thought he was going to play A5 there, but it looks like he's actually setting it up. Now we have a couple different options. Rook A8 takes on C4. But is he in trouble because of the D5 square now? I would think. We're going to have an awfully strong knight on D5. First thought. Can't have everything, though. The D5 knight will protect the C7 pawn and also be like an offensive force of its own. So I think that white has played credibly, but he's lost control of this kind of key square on D5, and And now maybe I'm... Wow. Do the impossible. Actually sack the pawn. Interesting. I don't know that it's sound, but okay. You won't be blocked by your own pawn on d4 now. Why would Anand get crushed? Because he did twice already? I don't know if you know about that. He's no match for Magnus Carlsen. He just rolled over and died, like, in 2 World Championship matches already. It was kind of horrible to watch. I don't think I could stomach another one of those. I couldn't handle that. It was very uncompetitive, I think. So we don't want to see that anymore. But he was happy to collect the check for playing in a World Championship match, obviously. But I want to see somebody who's there, you know, not to just take the check and lose. It's almost like a boxing match, you know, where they're just up there to like get their $100 check and then lose quietly with minimum damage to their face. That's what it felt like when Anand was playing his matches against Carlsen. I'll just take some punches and then go home with my $1 million check. You want to see a real fight. I had a distinct impression that Anand didn't believe he had a chance against Carlsen. Yeah, we'd love to see Mamedyarov, even Aronian against Carlsen, but Aronian has no ability to win the candidates matches, unfortunately. He's like jinxed forever. What to do now? I'm looking for tactics, but I can't find them. We'll just play this. Whoa. This is kind of a funny move. He's trying to set up 95. Really creative. Really, really creative solution there. Do I ever have any threats? What's up, Saul? Just taking open challenges here till 12 o'clock. We've got an hour and 15 minutes left. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe it was more of being psychologically wrecked. But it's kind of like, if he wasn't grubbing the money, then why would he, like, I don't know. I don't think of him as a money grubber, but I also think that he's happy to take $1 million, you know, like. But I felt he should have just, like, stepped aside or something, you know. I don't know. Like, if he's that psychologically destroyed that he doesn't have a chance, then just don't play. I mean, I don't know. It looks really gross. Rook h4 was a mate. Right, so I could have taken on g5. Oh my gosh, and 95. Nice call, Pichu. So I could have just like ignored that threat of 95, forking my king and queen, and given mate at the end. Nice idea. Okay, Soltigo, our moderator. Guys, we got a stream until 12 today, and then we're going to take a break. I'm going back to Budapest, and we will stream from there beginning next Friday. So no simul this week. Thanks to Nils for his donations today, supporting the stream. Tigo. Midnight Rhino. Alright, so the accepted variation of the... This is fun to play. Actually, d5 is the main line, but I think I like a6 or bishop e7 better. Fun to see this. Better have him play and take the money than not play at all, like in 1975. Right. Fischer didn't play against Karpov. Okay, I've looked at this variation. I guess I concluded that I like d5. You can also take on a6. That's kind of a main line. But I've found there's some variations where we don't take on a6 with the bishop. We take on a6 with the rook. This is the main line that I gave in my video series on Chess World, which you can buy from the Chess World. But don't do it for my sake. Do it for their sake. Or if you just want a good series on the Blumenfeld Gambit, A7. Right. Okay. That pawn ain't going anywhere. Maybe I'm being a little fancy with knight c6, but I'm just proving a point here. Queen a4. Queen a4 could be a move. Very good idea, Soltigo. Why don't you try it? I dare you to play Queen a4. Queen a4. Oh, come on. The chess pawn that wanted to get on the action. Queen a4. Queen a4. It's a maneuver. You could have swung your queen over to h4. Now, I wanted to play rook takes, queen takes, bishop e7, d7, trapping the queen. That's a sweet position. Rook takes a7 and bishop d7. Okay, g3. Now, what am I going to do? Similar to my game with Gondolazlo. Except my rook was on a6. Here it's going to be on a7. It probably doesn't make a hell of a lot of difference. If my rook is on a7 or a6. Actually gives me the flexibility to play bishop a6 at some point. So, alright. With Soltigo playing, I think, maybe like the safest type of setup you can play. Bishop e7 or bishop d6. I guess bishop e7. I lost to Gondolazlo with my rook on a6, this position, last December. But I think the opening wasn't my problem. I got myself in time pressure, and I made some inaccuracies against a very tough player. I think the opening is okay. a7, because I'm guessing this is new. Alright, b3. I don't know about b3. It's probably not a bad move. Like, Gonda played what? Knight c3 and bishop g5? It's like a Queen's Indian. Whoa. What is going on? I think Soltigo just upped the screwed with knight on bd2. This is probably lost for white. At least he's losing something. Maybe his queen, hopefully. Lose the whole queen and nothing but the queen. I just recapture. You were expecting me to take your rook here? I've got a better move. Just take this. Now you're like losing a whole piece. Right? Panic. Panic from Soltigo. But he was already dead after bishop f6. Knight bd2 is the suspect. You can't play that. You have to play bishop e2. And you probably have to play something very careful, like bishop e2, bishop f6, queen c1. Maybe only move. And the jury's out. You know, I think that black is very active in that position. So stick with Gondolazlo and play like bishop g5. Don't try to play b3. It's not as easy to play. Okay, so Soltigo now will be dropping a piece for a pawn or two. And he shouldn't have enough compensation. Just take back with a double attack on f3 and a1. I don't see anything here. Maybe knight fe2, but that also strange. You mean d2? You mean instead of knight bd2? Taking the whole rook. Alright. We're going to calmly try to refute this. h7 shouldn't be a major problem. Losing the h7 pawn. But I certainly can't lose my knight on... I can't lose my knight on c6, obviously. We have to lose something, it looks like. But bishop takes h7, we'll have to go to f8 with our king, which is okay, I guess. There is h6, actually. Bishop takes c6, and then maybe that move isn't a stupid idea. I can lose a pawn in that line, but at least I don't... I mean, I would just simplify, in other words. Bishop takes c6, hg. We lose another pawn. Fine by me. Right. And now we're just winning. Bishop f6. We're up a rook. I mean, he's got the, what, 2 pawns, 3 pawns for a piece? 3 pawns for a rook? It's not enough. Rook takes... Do you have any tricks? Got to be careful with Soltigo. Bishop takes c5. Rook takes e2. Got more rooks than you. And b4. He's not giving up without a fight, apparently. Oh, I did it? I blundered? Managed to blunder here. Managed to lose the exchange. Can I afford to lose the exchange here? With bishop e7, I'm up a rook. I have very few pawns left. I'm going to be up a piece for 2 pawns. We probably have enough margin of error to win this, but obviously he has this. Still, it should be enough to win. Mainly because he's really tied down. We'll be down the exchange, but very active. But now Soltigo just blundered. Bishop takes, check. And I used to play like king f1. What did I blunder again? I'm going to end up winning like with 2 bishops against 1 bishop. 2 pawns each or something. It's pretty awkward. He could play king f1 here. I mean, play it out a little bit. King f1, rook d1 check, king e2, bishop takes c5, you know, and play this position here. I mean, this is winning for black, but I probably have to do like... There's some chance I might have to demonstrate like mate with bishop and bishop against king or something. All right, Clash Kid's up next. Bishop e7 still would have lost, though. He doesn't have enough compensation. Absolutely best, though. Yeah, of course. So Clash Kid now. Alright, we haven't played in a long time. Let's play our Sicilian. I played so many games. Clash Kid has 87. He's not a record holder, but there's not too many people. There's like 5 or 6. How many people have 100 games on my stream? Probably 5 or 6 players amongst you. Nefedov is up there. He's got to be like the leader now, I think. Knight c3. Looks like he's delaying d4. But why in this position knight c3? People who like to avoid certain things like the Najdorf maybe? Well, the Najdorf isn't relevant. No. Why is the knight c3 here against knight c6? What's the point of that move? I don't really know. Alright, we'll just play something. Scheveningen. A6. Classical Scheveningen? No, modern Scheveningen after d4. I was thinking of incorporating the O'Kelly Sicilian into my repertoire. This is actually a Taimanov, which I don't play. But it's cool, because I have a general idea of how these should be played, and I've certainly played with white. And we can transpose mostly to the Scheveningen. There's some variations. I think f4 here is one line that could cause me trouble. I probably lost against Alexander Ivanov in that, because I can't play the line I typically play. This move order also messes with me a little bit. I've lost games in the Scheveningen g3 systems. I like g3 a lot for white. I typically don't play a6 early when I'm playing the proper move order in this system. It's a line, but I've lost a lot of games. I lost to Nick DeFermian in this line. I've lost to different people. Maybe not a lot of games, but that game sticks out in my mind. Alexander, Ivanov I've lost to. Defermian both beat me with a system. So now like rook e1 would be like a main line probably. But you can also just move your knight away. Like Nick would play like knight b3 here. That was a US Open game I had against Nick many, many years ago. I'm not sure if this was exactly the move order, but slightly transposing from a slightly different move order. f4. There's nothing wrong with f4, I guess. That's a move. But typically, like, you don't want to allow black to simplify with knight takes d4. I think the point is to avoid exchanges here. Bishop g5 is a very strange move. I don't like it here. Without the inclusion of knight b5, this move doesn't make a lot of sense. This is like similar to a Nesmedinov idea that he played in a Richter Rouser against like Shamkovich. I have a collection of Nesmedinov's games. He had a game there, but it's much different. Like, you need the idea of knight b5 to kind of overload the bishop on e7. This is another way of playing Pianketo type of setups with knight e2. Now he can exchange on c6 perhaps and then put another knight on d4. Kind of interesting idea. It looks okay. Did I miss anything last move? No. Looks logical. Okay. We'll just castle. Now he could exchange on c6, although I can take back with the pawn. Maybe I should take back with the pawn if he exchanges on c6. He may just play c4. But ultimately, like, I don't think his bishop on g5 really has any purpose there. He played c3. That's preferable to play c4, I would think. Alright, let's see. Queen c7. But white's playing very solidly here. Rook b8, maybe queen c7, rook c8. I want to prepare b5, but I've got to watch out for b5, knight takes c6. It might even lose a piece. Something like rook fd8 maybe, and then bishop e8. Is that worth considering? It's kind of hard to find counterplay here for black. Obviously queenside. You know, we want to go with like b5. Now that c6 is supported, I can do this finally without worry of tactics. The question is where to put my bishop, on d7 or a8 or even b7. I mean, here the bishop looks both ways, so I guess there's a definite benefit to that. We're trying to get counterplay with b4 finally. Yeah, Soltigo, interesting game there, but b3 is questionable. Interesting idea of a7 in the opening. I mean, maybe I should play b4, but I don't think I can do it. He's like stopping me now, you know. I guess I could have played it anyway, though. If takes, rook takes b4. This looked like a safer move, though. Opposite his queen. So if I can play b4, he plays c4 again. Something to be said for not playing b4. a5, b4. a5 is certainly not a bad move. I'm not sure I want to commit to playing b4 or not. But a5 just staking out space on the queen side seems logical for black. White's played very safely, very solidly, and his position remains fine. It's kind of a weird move, knight f3. Now it's up to me to like prove something here. If he continues to repeat position, I would have to try to find another way to play for a win. Maybe knight f3, e5 is not ridiculous. Risky, but if you want to win, you got to take chances, I guess. I feel like if this was a tournament game, I would consider taking a draw, depending on how highly rated my opponent was. E5 fixes the pawn on e4, and I've got to watch this guy. But I'm going to play bishop e6, and it's going to look like a Najdorf now. Actually, it might not be good enough to play bishop e6 because he has... Now you can obviously allow bishop takes f6 at some point. Thought I had bishop f6, bishop f6, bishop f6, queen d6, queen d6, rook d6, bishop takes a2, and then rook a1. But now I need a move. Bishop e6, rook takes a5, b4. I mean, I should be fine here, but I'm not sure that I'm better. Unfortunately, you know, taking with the g-pawn is ugly. Though I could possibly try it. It's really ugly. Maybe I have another plan. Let's see. Well, I could just not take on a2 and play like b4 straight away. But that's not good enough. I'm actually lucky that I'm not worse after... Wow, he didn't take the pawn on d6. That's pretty crazy. Alright, well, I mean, we could just go back, I guess. The bishop's pretty funky there. On f6, not great. So I can't believe he didn't take this. Maybe I missed something, but I thought I'm just going down a pawn with compensation. The d5 chasm. Well, this is the Najdorf, you know. This is like... It's become a Najdorf. It's pretty standard. If you look at any of like John Nunn's games from the black side of the Najdorf, it's pretty usual. You gotta like live with the weakness. Not my favorite thing to do, but that's part of the game. You can play e6 or e5, like Paschall said. You think it looks good for white? No. I mean, black has too much counterplay on the queen side. These are weaknesses here. I don't think that white looks good. We have a lot of play. He's trying to play king h2 and bishop h3 and maybe, you know, do something with that, but this looks a little weird to me. H4 was a really, really strong move, by the way. I don't think that white looks bad, but I wouldn't say white is better. No, it's solid. It's about equal, I think, realistically. I can put pawns on, no, pressure on b3. Yeah, king h2 is mandatory. So now I need to stop that, I think. At least slow it down. Keep him busy. I don't want him to play bishop h3. He's busy. I mean, these pawns are a very high, you know, major liability for white. Not easy for him. Bishop g4 now. Whatever happens, happens. I was surprised by this. I'm having hallucinations, I think. Alright. Let's just go with the A file. We'll allow this exchange. Really nice positional ideas here by white in this game. Trying to get my rook on the 7th. I mean, to get 2 rooks on the 7th is better than 1. Tough game, though. Hard to say who's better, really. Someone suggested f5. Now he's kind of tied up, and he allowed a tactic. So let's see what was truly going on. I mean, before the simple tactic at the end, Black has a 0.1 advantage. 0 now. You missed the move Rook B C1. I mean, this actually forces a trade of rooks now, and I think that this is equal. I would take this rep draw. I mean, unless you had like 5 seconds left, I guess I have to just admit that this is a draw here, most likely. Looks like a legitimate draw at this point. But it was a well-played game by both sides for the most part. Okay, thank you, Clash Kid. Baleful is up next. We've got like for at least 45 minutes left, so I'm not going to be able to play all these challenges, guys. I mean, the last guys can forget about it. There's no way. I'm just going to play like 4 more games at the most. Okay, C4. We got to finish it just a little bit after 12. I'll probably go, at the maximum, I can go till 12:15, but I have to go after that. So, guys, the next stream will be next Friday, another Blitz stream. And then the following Sunday, we'll have a simul again. I don't know why I played this move. I actually don't usually play this. And now we're in the line that I don't play. But I like D5 for Black. I like the Rubinstein. I play this with White more often. And I never really like playing against the system. Baleful. Whoa. That is a strange move. To allow that ending would give Black equality immediately. D takes C4. But he can play Queen A4 check. Queen takes Queen A4 check, Bishop D7, Queen C4, Bishop C6. But I don't know if I want an ending. I mean, I can also play D4. We'll just play it. Now he should maybe think about trying Knight A4 and playing King's Indian in reverse. Like a Pano variation or whatever it's called. Yugoslav variation. Mr. Coffee, thank you for the wishes. We're traveling on Tuesday. Hopefully it'll be good to go. Going to Budapest. I'll be there for 6 weeks, guys. Streaming from Europe. So, alright, he did play Knight A4. I think that's the thematic thing to do here. The most aggressive thing to do. And the only thing to do. The only question is, does his knight ever get kicked back to B2? If it does, then his opening, is kind of dubious. But if that doesn't look that realistic, to be honest, hard to kick him back. Really, he's got play on the long diagonal here. B3 is a bad move, though. It's very passive. You should really be playing for B4, objectively. But then again, what am I supposed to do here? Not so easy. Maybe he wants to play Bishop A3 and attack my pawn. It's not really a problem. I thought about Bishop D7. I could definitely play that as well. He could do a Gingy Indian, Bishop takes C6 type of idea here, if he wants to. The $1,000,000 question. Oh, E4, it's acerbate. It's the check Benoni. Okay. Possible to do that. Playing like a friend of mine. Likes to play this way with Black. With White, it's a little different. So it's a really huge positional struggle now with the board closed. You could take on E3 en passant, but I think it's against principle. Knight D7, and now what? You could play this different ways. He's looking for queenside space. I guess I should be principled in castle. It's not the only way to play, though. You could go Ponda style. You could definitely go Ponda style there with H5. Oh, H5. Hello. I'm just a special guest today. I'm a good friend of the panda. Excuse me, panda. Alright, guys, so I just wanted to give those guys a last chance to say hello before we finish up the stream a little later. Queen e2, what are we doing there with white? We're like toying around with ideas of castling queenside, I hope. That knight looks in trouble. The time has come. Nils, you had a similar game that you gave us to look at yesterday in the subscriber stream, where you outplayed the opponent, grabbing space on the queenside opening lines. I think now that the center is closed, I can consider playing b5. Finally lost. You thought I finally lost it, Arsenal fan. It's time for b5. This is a good strategic idea. Bishop h3, the same idea we saw from Clash Kid just last game. The idea of trading the white squared bishops, your bad bishop out for my good bishop. That would be nice, wouldn't it? We've condemned his knight to passivity on b2, but it's not the end of the world for him. I mean, I might have to allow this exchange of bishops. I finally lose it. Alright, not exactly. Oh man, what to do now? Tough game. Baleful. Must be a specialist in closed positions. He's locked this up. Locking it up, man, with a c4, e4. And then bishop h3 is a good move. This is just the dawn, Arsenal. There's going to be a whole zoo of animals. Well, no, I mean, seriously. Maybe that will happen. I guess we just have to go Nils style here. Play on the queen side. I admit to trading white squared bishops, but I still have a space advantage. So I should probably take with the queen. And rook e8 is of limited value, I guess. Wow. Alright, we've got to play g6 now. This is absolutely mandatory. There ain't no knight coming to f5. I'm going to tell you right now. That's not happening. He says it's happening anyway. I say it's not happening. We've got a very small edge here. This might even be a mistake. But I didn't know what to do. Alright. But you can't castle. Oh, you took that way. Wow. Was not expecting this. Very interesting. Get out of my house. We have the strong passed pawn. That should be blockaded by a knight. Ironically. Lions, pandas, and beers. That sounds like a great idea. A5. It's coming to D1. To E1, D3, I mean. But our queen side is coming. Grishuk Nakamura. I was just talking about this. Nakamura, Grishuk. I should be more specific. Pawn structure counts. Black is better now, structurally. That's about it. You know, we've got to protect your passed pawn. We've got some space. We're just adding up advantages. There goes the knight to the aforementioned square I was talking about. Yeah, what's he gonna do? We just pressurize. Everything's protected. He's got knight c2 there. Uh-oh. He lost it. Speaking of losing it, Baleful finally made a tactical mistake. Everything's protected, but he's lost it along the A file. So it looks like he's toast now. Anything with beer is a great idea. Yeah, cooking with beer, bathing in beer. Alright, Basically a really tricky tactic by Baleful. He's trying to set up knight takes c5. That doesn't actually threaten anything. Problem with knight c5 is that it doesn't do anything. I guess he could play knight c5, knight d7, knight f6 check. But in the meantime, he has bigger things to worry about. Maybe he can let me queen. Knight takes c5, a1, queen. I don't know. I don't see the compensation, really. Yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to go first. First things first. Maybe queen a3 was a killing move there. But he had queen e2. So I guess I'm correct in doing this. Rook b8 followed by rook b1. Meet Pete the Panther. That is a bear, okay? Hello. 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 Arsenal fan is going to be voicing my character from now on. Alright, no. That was Arsenal fan secretly doing that from an undisclosed location. I do not have a falsetto like that. It sounds a lot like Arsenal fan. Queen takes a2. Alright. Knight takes c5. There it is. Alright. You're running out of steam, my friend. I'm not going to bite. Knight d7. The last hope. But no. Oh no. Mr. Bill. It's over. Okay, good game. A lot of fun. Pichu's up next. We're going to play... Yeah, well, I mean, I think I'm going to end up doing, like, a separate stream where I do stuffed animals, you know, teaching kids how to play chess. I think that probably would be a cool thing. Knight f3, knight f6, c4. All right, g3. We can branch out. We got a hedgehog here from Pichu, which I play with both colors. That was a good try. Wait, oh, what did we see? I saw Queen's Indian from... Oh, I just saw a random game today. It was Hikaru playing the white side of a Queen's Indian. It's an old tournament, though. Not a recent game. Can somebody explain to me what was the knight tactics? Well, he just had knight c5, like I pointed out. You know, he was taking the knight takes c5, bishop takes c5 because of queen f6 mate. Like I couldn't take his knight on c5. So f5. Okay, this is all pretty well-known theory. Yeah, if he takes the knight, if I take the knight on c5 with bishop takes c5, he had queen f6, and I get mated on. I think I just get mated on g7 without any defense. So Pichu played f5. I've played bishop f6 here quite a lot with black. It's a little more solid, like not weakening the king side, but I think that f5 is actually main line. I don't remember though if you're supposed to play d6 here. This move actually looks a little risky. There was some old games. I'm thinking maybe Win Ngoc Trongson was playing this with black years ago. I'm not sure if d6 is good though. It looks like it makes e6 weak. But how can I exploit it? I don't remember the theory concretely, what I'm supposed to do now. Aronian has played like bishop e1 in similar positions, I remember. Maybe that's not exactly a very active move. d5, and then he just trades and plays e5. I mean, that's kind of his point, you know. It's like, if d5, then knight takes something and then e5. And it looks like that would be a good game for black. So I could try queen b3. That doesn't seem right either. It's really It's down to something else. Let's go Aronian style here with bishop e1. I don't know what the next move is, but I'm going to try it. Then what? What would Ivan Chuk do? d5 here. That doesn't help. Knight takes c3. There's queen c2. I guess that's a like normal move. Not very inspiring though. I don't know. I'm not inspired by my own play. But here we might have something. It's not good when you're uninspired by your own play. Let's try it. What would Chucky do? Yeah. Something isn't right about what I did. Like bishop e1, queen c2, it's all too time consuming, and there had to be a better way. Luckily I have this, which might cast some doubt on his position. Yeah, knight g5 is like a really important theme with the weakness of e6 and trying to get that white squared bishop. So I think his last move was a mistake. If black had played some kind of sensible move here, not allowing knight g5, he should be fine. Maybe even c5 is okay. I'm beginning to think my rook was on the wrong square. It should like be on d1 instead of on c1. But you know, another move that he could play is like bishop f6 instead of knight f6, bishop f6, just pressurizing this diagonal and not allowing any kind of nonsense with knight to g5. Now knight takes g5, bishop takes b7, knight h3 check. Doesn't seem to do anything. We hope. So we're going home, and we've picked up a bishop that's extremely powerful. The bishop on g2, unopposed. Now Pichu's just losing a pawn here. He's giving it up almost on purpose. Kind of like, I guess, I don't know if he miscalculated or he just sacked it on purpose. But he's just a clear pawn down. Okay guys, like this game and then 3 more at the most after this. d5. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes e4 is kind of an interesting move. Then I take with the queen, then you take with the pawn. I mean, I'm clearly better. But it's still not so easy. Maybe it's best for me not to exchange pawns. Keep the tension. Because I'm always threatening pawn takes pawn now, because c7 is hanging. Yeah, this was a clear improvement over the other options. I can play e4 if I want to, or we can do other stuff too. We almost have a tactic, right? Take everything, play queen b3. Yeah, this is good. Almost is not almost, but it's actually, yeah, this is very strong. I think he's in deep trouble. Because now I'm threatening e4, and there's really nothing you can do about it. He should just castle, bishop takes d5. Yeah, he can castle now, darn. I have bishop b4, but then there's tactics with a stupid c5. Luckily for me, he didn't do it. He didn't play king h8. That would have really cast doubt on my entire position. Yeah, he missed a golden opportunity there to play king h8 last move. Now he's in deep, deep trouble. This is objectively lost for black. Still some work to do, but I'm going to take the space. The pawn avalanche. And yeah, here. Can't support his knight on e4. And we've got c7 as well. This is beautiful. Everything's attacked. If knight g5, f4, it's probably his only chance, objectively. No, knight g5 I just take on c7. Nefedov says queen c6 is better. I missed it. When did I have queen c6? I don't have a clue. He's trying to logically avoid trading queens. Basically willing to lose everything. All right, no, there's no letting you play like queen h5 and all that. I'd rather have the knight come back to e4. Knight e6. Oh, I missed this. I did miss this. Queen c3. I guess the lesser of the evils here. We have to watch out for tactics, but I just don't think it works, you know. Knight takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop c5, I take that too. I mean, we should objectively be winning there. This move I didn't see. Wow, what's up? Bishop f2. He's so fast. That's the thing, man. It reminds me of... He reminds me of Mysterious Expert or whatever. The ability to play super fast. I mean, this is really lost for black now, though. Queen takes a2 was going too far. Yeah, this should be over. Let's see. I trade the queens. Take this pawn. Got the pawn avalanche. Two bishops. This is really nasty. It's hard to imagine this isn't winning for white. I don't drop something. My pawns are just too strong. Right, and now centralize. Really good practical fighter. Black. But two connected passers is crushing. Those pawns have to crush. Like, he wants to play like bishop c5, but I mean that would be game over because my pawns are too strong. Getting value from his pawn deficit. It's not easy to do that, you know. I mean, he put up a good fight. This is a pawn chain, man. That is a serious pawn chain. +5. Yeah. Just trading the rooks. So no accidents happen. The Panda likes pawn chains. He just likes pawns. He also likes h5. So kudos to my opponent for h5. Pawn that has been summoned. Nice try, but it's a little bit late, huh? h5. Oh. Panda doesn't know what to say. Alright, we're liquidating everything. Playing for time, are you? Those bishops are brutal. His b6 pawn is hanging now. But actually b5 bishop c6 wins that pawn too. Two bishops. I guess I had a lot of good moves, but he's keeping me on pressure, under pressure on the clock. There's got to be too many pawns now. Too many pondas. Goodbye, cruel world. Never count on automatic recaptures. Alright, good game. I don't know about the opening. All right, new opponent here. If you have 100 games, I'm not going to play you unless you have 100 games. This guy doesn't have 100 games. Okay, Haggard DK we've played before. We're going to take his challenge. I definitely don't like, to play opponents unless they have like 100 games. The last guy was a little bit short. So I'm going to decline any challenges from you guys with under 100 games. Haggard DK is up next. I like to play established accounts. Sorry about that, but you can try next time. Modern defense. You simply blundered the pawn. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you even sacked it on purpose because my white scarred bishop was so strong. Move 11 is in the house. Guys, congratulations to Move 11 for beating his first master. I don't want to embarrass him, but he beat his first master in an over-the-board game. So I want to give a shout out to Move 11 for that. Nice job, man. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard through the grapevine. That's always a big thing. It was a big thing for me, to win my first game against a master when I was probably about the same rating as Move 11. So good job, man. I was like the same rating in the 1900s when I beat very similar strength player. All right, castles, King's Indian here. We're trying to play Knight C6. Move 11, we're just finishing up. We got about 30 minutes left in the stream. So as many games as I can play in 30 minutes at 5-3. It's 2 or 3 games. Arsenal said also even more impressive for beating me on Tuesday. Yeah, that's a bigger win. When you take Arsenal out in the Blitz tournament. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching and tuning in. I'm going to be traveling this week to Budapest, so we're not going to be streaming for 6 days. We'll be back a week from today with our next Friday stream. It'll be in the morning Budapest time. So if you're in the United States, like Soltigo, our moderator, our 10 a.m. Budapest stream is 4 a.m. Not easy to make it. Okay, c3, that's a very solid move by white. I actually was playing a4 Romanicians move. And, wow, 9 cent upon loss. Arsenal, like a perfect game. Wow. Acerbate. You were dreaming about chess. All right, so c3, it's kind of passive, but it's a really solid setup. You can just play like knight bd2 and e4. I don't really know what else to do. I mean, this could actually transpose to a Pierce, which I don't want. So what do we do with black here? I mean, c5 is possible. Knight a6 is possible. But knight a6, b4 looks good for white. I don't think I want to do that. I don't remember if I faced c3. I think I faced rook e1 in over the board games. It's a little more common probably to play here, to try to directly play e4. Maybe like later play c3. But c3 here right away is very similar. I can play knight c6 or perhaps what else? c5 is a safe move, I guess. Rook e8, knight bd7. All right, I don't know. I don't know. As I said, I don't like getting transposed into a Pierce because I wanted to play the King's Indian, not the Pierce. This could be like a fianchetto. This isn't a great move here. I mean, although it's played in these type of setups sometimes. If I can take back with a knight, you know, this is probably... Even taking back with the bishop, I don't really think he's justified in giving up his bishop. So early, even though he's got a solid pawn chain. I've done stuff like this. I mean, I definitely had a game like in a very similar type of setup where I did this last year in last year or the year before in Zalakarosh against a strong young Indian player. I just gave him my bishop. But it's kind of wrong. I mean, I don't think you should really just go out and trade this. So there's no Sunday Simul this week, no. And h6, I don't think it's a bad move for me. You could argue it's a useful move. So he didn't really induce a weakness. I mean, yes, it could backfire, but I think this is a constructive move for black in the King's Indian type of position. So he probably has to play bishop takes f6, really objectively. Though I don't like bishop g5 to start with. He probably has to answer consistently. Kind of like, actually, Nils, I don't know if he's still in the stream, but yesterday Nils shared a game from a tournament he played, where he played like bishop g4, and I said it was bad. But having played that, like, he was probably correct in exchanging it off. The same thing would be here for Haggard DK. Like, having spent a move on bishop g5, you should probably go ahead and pull the trigger on it. Midnight Rhino, that's too funny. What happened? Can the 100 games count as a spread on all four? Yeah, I guess we'll do that. But my guy, like the guy that I declined, he had like, not Bullet though. I won't count Bullet as games, okay? Midnight Rhino, like only like rapid and wild games and stuff like that, whatever you want to call it, variants. I'm not going to count, but I will count chess 960, rapid, and blitz and classical. Chess, those four are real chess to me, you know. So blitz, rapid, chess 960. If you have 100 games in those combined, I'll count that. So, all right, d takes e5. You're giving up the center here with white, you know, trading off your strong point. And now b3, kind of weakening the diagonal. So that could end up in a dangerous situation for white. I don't know if my center is supported though. And bishop a3 could be a problem. All right, let's play rook e8 and be a little careful here before I lunge and play e4 too quickly. You know, he can't play e4 without dropping a pawn. So it's still not that easy though. Maybe white's position isn't beyond the point of no return yet. It's not that bad. He's wasted time, but you know, this idea, or even just bishop e2, might not be that bad for white. King of the Hill should count. It's a very principled variant, okay? There's a case for that to be made, Mr. Arsenal. I should really start playing some King of the Hill. But now e4, e3, speaking of principled, looks like a classic King's Indian type of idea. White played a little too passively. Alright guys, we have time for at least one more game. Probably I'll do two. I gotta leave the screen for a minute and grab something. Just after this game finishes, I'll be right back in 1 minute. There's a land shark at the door, so gotta answer it. e3. Double edge to play e3. I'm actually having second thoughts about it. Maybe we don't even play e3. It's a really good question. On the other hand, e3 is a good move. I can't really decide. When you finally beat me, you're going to open that bottle of scotch? Uh-oh. Give me an incentive. There was an article in the BBC yesterday that said, any amount. New study says that any amount of alcohol is bad for you. This is fresh off the scientific press. But anyway, we're hoping that's not true. Here's to hoping that's not true. Right, Arsenal fan? Peggy, like Al Bundy's wife. Alright, knight to d3 here. Whoa, queen there. Knight c5. This is a good move. Not that many Peggy's in TV land. Oh, Peggy Hill, right. I couldn't figure it out. I'm still stuck in the 80s. Alright, knight f1, bishop f1, knight e4. The name was probably inspired from Married with Children. Here, we've got a lot of pieces. We're winning. More pieces, the better. We'll take everything we can get. I'm greedy. Alright, guys, we got time for one or two more games. I'm just going to eat all this material. Yum, yum. Single malt scotch. I'll be right back. One last thing I got to grab. Okay, guys, last two games for the stream and for the week, because I'm going to be going to Budapest. We are back. I handled the flowers at the door. All right, Linko. We played once before. I hope it's not rated. That what always happens, like this one of the, yeah, see, this guy's going to get me. This Czechia guy, he challenged me to rated. No rated challenges. Alright, Czechia person, I will give you one more chance to challenge me to unrated. And if you get the challenge in there, before this game finishes, I'll take that. So, I forgot Lincho. If you pronounce it Hungarian style, it would be Lincho, I guess. Linso. Actually, Linso. Not Lincho, but Linso. I'm terrible. All those years in Hungary and I still can't pronounce things correctly on the first try, but it's close enough. So F5, he said, Szia sok sikert. I haven't been in Budapest for, he played this last time actually. I haven't been in Budapest for over 3.5 months, so my Hungarian is like really lagging. It's worse than it ever was. You guys are having a whiskey discussion. Good. Well, actually, Scotch. Excuse me. Scotch whiskey. So, Linso 2000, yeah, he played A5. This guy, Mark Lyle, I know, plays the Dutch, and he's watched all of, like, Simon Williams' stuff, and he's kind of skeptical of A5. Said that it was, like, a bad line. But I don't know, you know, I'm not enough of an expert to actually to say. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just making it up. I mean, I have a general clue what I'm doing, but theoretically it's not enough. I mean, I don't know if this is really good for me. We had the very similar game the other day. Was it against Lichess? Or was it against someone else? That's the question. Grab the file. You know, this isn't really what you want to do when you're playing this classical Dutch. You don't want this structure to ever happen. Though, I mean, maybe it has to happen sometimes. He'll have to play like bishop d8, exactly. But it's not ideal. I gotta watch the king side with the knight g4. This is a strong player. You know, he's 2100. That's pretty solid. So, we've got to watch the F file. F4 happens sometimes. Don't remember, did he play in the simul? All right. I'll deal with that later. All right, bishop d8. It's good. Hopefully they can get a ISP or something. Bishop f4. What do we do? d5, knight c5. The problem with d5, it lets his knight back in the game. I don't want to do that. What do we want to do here? Rook b1. If f4 doesn't work, he's going to play h6 and then g5 and f4. Do I have time for like rook b1? Rook b1 is a very double-edged thing, because then he has f4, bishop f5 all the time. Yeah, I need another plan. Okay, here's a crazy idea. We'll try to take advantage of his queen position. This is very unusual here, but it's an unusual situation. I'm giving up control of e4 to kick his queen out of that offensive position on h5. Planning to move to Ireland in search of, oh, I thought you were going to say in search of whiskey. You'll have no problem finding it. Irish whiskey. And I was only really concerned about knight e4. Now we've got knight g5. We're all over him. That knight g5 strikes again. I use it against all of my Hungarian opponents. It's the anti-Magyar knight move. Knight to g5. Uh-oh. We were lucky, though. I mean, I think he could have played this a lot differently. Like, after knight e2, he can play knight e4, plop that in there. And it's a game. It's kind of a weird game, but it's a game. That would keep an eye on g5, obviously. Queen d7. I'm not sure that Lichess is actually Hungarian, but he speaks Hungarian fluently, so we assume. Okay, Queen d7, knight e6. We're just in the we're into e6. That's gotta be crushing. You can't live with a knight like that. That just cuts the position in half. Has to be decisive. I just played d5. If I play d5, though, he has to counterplay with b5, maybe. So maybe it doesn't win automatically. This is hanging, which might be useful to pick that pawn up if I can. But once again, as I said, not that simple. d5, b5, and then like bishop h3. d5, b5, a, b3, a4, that kind of thing. Very, very irritating. I don't see any winning tactics for me. There is g5 for black now. There's also pawn takes pawn. So I feel like I have to do something. Maybe take the pawn. This is a crazy thing to do. Not really. Though I feel like, you know, the position gets a little weird. His knight also can get into the game, which bothers me a little bit. Like his knight getting out with like knight c5. That's disturbing, in other words. Yeah, d5, b5, I felt like he was kind of breaking out. I almost like give him the lever to set that up. Now I have b4, but he also has knight c7. I have like some kind of threats of my own, and I have none. It's very strange. Just don't have any threats. Man, all right. I don't know, but I'm going to play this just because I'm running out of time. It's a kind of weird move. I should say it's like a very weird move. Wow. Oh my goodness. So it's mate, isn't it? No, it's not mate. Don't hallucinate, Bill. Alright, don't hallucinate. I started hallucinating. Too early to celebrate here. I almost did that. That's crazy. We still have enough time that we don't have to panic. Let's just develop a piece. You know, but come to think of it, like knight takes d5, c d5, he really is getting mated in some lines. Now what? Did I drop something? No. Okay. I don't know, but it feels strong for white. It's a lot of space. I'm not convinced. Yeah, he can actually do this. Knight g5. Rook takes rook. Knight g5. Bishop takes g5. There's a stupid move, huh? Knight g6 check. King g8. Right, it's really silly to waste a lot of time here. Queen f7. He's holding on. My position is suddenly looking kind of shaky. I'm just gonna flag. I missed a lot of stuff in this game, but I'm not going to make excuses. Just a few. I let his knight back in the game. I gave him all kinds of stuff. Hopefully we can get mate, though. Does this work? He just has a defense for everything. He allowed mate in one. Whew. 4 seconds left. So he actually has a move there, Queen f6, and I think I might be losing. No, I'm not losing. I was scared that this actually held for black. Wow. That's crazy. I never would have found Queen e3 though. I was looking at some stupid moves like Bishop c3. I have to take. You know, I mean, I probably would have taken and played it this way. You know. And now I'm at least winning my rook back or whatever. So It was a crazy game. Okay, guys, last game for today. If this player, I said I would play the other guy if he came back, but he didn't come back. All right, Shivananda, no. There's no games there. So Mad Max is next on the list. Casual 5+3. Mad Max from Turkey. Also doesn't have enough games. 3 check, he's not. So Arsenal makes the cut. Arsenal makes the cut with the final game. All right. You made it. You never thought you would make it, but you did. All right, Arsenal. Finishing up the stream here with one of our subscribers by pure coincidence. Chesspatzer Wells, thanks for the host. All right, guys. Arsenal's up. He's playing G6. Let's see what you got, man. They came back? What? King Gradek came back? Oh, no. I feel bad now. King Gradek was the guy? Oh, he did come back. Oh, now I have to play him, too. I feel so bad. I didn't recognize the name. All right. We'll play him, too. He's 1488. He was next on the list. Quickly. Arsenal, just lose quickly. So he can play King Radek as well. I'm just kidding there. Good luck. Arsenal playing the King's Indian defense. Sorry, King Radek. I spaced on your name. I looked and I was like, nope, they didn't come back. So if you want to hang out for till after this game, I will accept that last challenge. 2 games simul. Yeah, that would be cool. I've never done that. But I like to devote my energies to, playing one game and concentrating. We'll try to take Arsenal out here with the theory. I never thought I'd see Arsenal playing the King's Indian. But why not? I don't play Knight C6 because it's just too demanding. I mean, it's really like very, very long variations with attacks on both sides. This is a rare move, C6. Nimzovich is rolling over in his grave every time someone plays this. But I do think that it's been played. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't play it, but I don't know the refutation. If there exists a refutation, I'm not aware of it. Yeah, but the King's Indian, now we've transposed to some kind of Knight D2 variation. And after Knight D2, C6 is a move too. So few people play this move that I've actually never bothered to study it, That's how rare C6 is. I do recall it being a move, or at least being tried. So I really want to play C5. Can I do it, right away? C5 takes, D6. All hell could break loose, basically. What would the Alpha Zero do to you here? It wouldn't be pretty. I am not Alpha Zero, luckily, for you. C5, pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, bishop A3 is interesting. This is speculative, but let's have fun. It's the last game. Alright, what do we do? We're sacking a pawn. We could sack it different ways with C5, D6, I was thinking too. Actually, D6 forces him to sack a piece for 3 pawns. I didn't even think about it. Okay. Unclear, though. He might have compensation here, for real. So my second thought was actually to take here. But I think that's kind of faulty. Faulty towers. Alright, unclear, crazy position with 3 pawns for a piece. I'm going to play one last game. I don't have to take right away, but I don't really see the benefit in not taking. My knight doesn't have a good square. You can take your choice. I mean, knight a4 actually loses the tempo to b5, so probably I should go home. I want to give him b5 with for free, So Arsenal has compensation. But f5. You know, f5 almost feels like you're playing on the wrong side of the board. I mean, ironically, it is the King's Indian, but your advantage is on the queen side in this instance, which is very strange. Your majority of 4 against 3 with the pawns is on the queen side. It almost feels like you should... Not an easy position to play, though. I mean, it's totally irrational. Black's... Actually, both sides are kind of backward in development. So he plays f5, f4. I think I'm just gaining back a key pawn here. Taking with the queen to gain a tempo. So I don't think he should have done that. Yummy King's Indian. So we've got a situation now where he's got 2 pawns for a piece. The ambulance is coming. I feel like I'm back in Budapest already. That's my standing joke. There's like so many ambulances in Budapest. I never heard it, you know, living in like American city. But we missed it here, living in the suburb, in an American suburb. I haven't been getting my usual fill of ambulances. All right, f3. Now b6. Arsenal, a practical player. He's not looking for perfect moves. He's trying to play logically. So we're going to put some pressure on e5, hopefully. Keep him tied down to that. But I better be a little bit careful. Seriously. Because he could get a strong attack going on here. Arsenal is not used to playing the King's Indian, which could hurt him. But right about now, Black should be thinking about kingside attack. We never get an ambulance emote. We had an ambulance emote, I thought. Where's Soltigo? Is he still here? I guess we didn't have an ambulance emote. We'll get one now that we're back in Budapest. Good move, Arsenal fan. I mean, this is like... It doesn't matter if it's the Dutch or the King's Indian. You gotta go with that. That move is absolutely mandatory. I'm prepared. I don't know what I'm prepared for, but I'm prepared. Just committed suicide. No, it's actually very similar to a game I just saw. Oh my gosh. All right, Black to play. An old hand at the King's Indian. Arsenal. I've got the knight handy. He played g5, so queen g5, threatening bishop h3. I guess I could defend myself with something like bishop f1. I was very scared about it, though, to be perfectly honest. I was quite frightened what would transpire there. Now I have knight f1. He's trying to play rudimentary g4 here, which is very logical. As I said, he's a logical guy. Alright. g4. I have time for defense. Trading pieces is good too. Nice try, Arsenal fan. You're close to something there on the king side. But I've got to distract and trade pieces. We can actually add 5 more emotes according to Soltigo through BTTV. That's awesome. Okay guys, I'm going to play one last quick game. Now Arsenal did a kind of crazy thing here. I mean, he's letting me trade queens. Not a good idea when you're down a piece, probably. Wouldn't be my first idea. I think that should help me objectively defend myself. Really shouldn't be enough counterplay. 2 pawns for a piece. It's a no-no. Do we take with the pawn? It's probably fine. Better for my pawn structure. Bishop takes f3 was possible too. But I've got this move, which is going to really mess him up. Knight f5. My king can go to either f2 or h1. So I think he's objectively losing. His e5 pawn's also just hanging here. Running out of ideas. Yeah, we're headed for f5 anyway. He's got knight e8. This move really gets in his face. Now it's hard for him to attack me, and his bishop doesn't have any good squares. Bishop f8, rook takes f6, rook takes f6, bishop takes e5. He maybe saw it because he didn't allow it. Alright, good move, knight e8, best under the circumstances. Rook h6, anyone? Knight takes g7's out, isn't it? Yeah, I need to just retreat. That kind of sucks. I have to play rook d2. But he's got a problem with his e5 pawn. That's not important, is it? You don't need that for anything, do you? Now he can play bishop f6 though, hanging on. And he just keeps hanging on and hanging on. I'm not a happy camper. I don't want him to just keep hanging around and then having threats or something. So there. I don't know now. Knight takes g7, rook takes g7. And it kind of gives him some play. We're getting out if we can get out. Our knight has no squares though. He had to defend. h4. Is that a good idea? Play h4? Probably not. Alright, blockade. To blockade or not to blockade? I have rook d5 and then c3. It's a really messed up position. This looks kind of slow. Man, it is slow. But I have this now. Hopefully that's his undoing. Just realized. This wasn't really a great game by me. I feel like I gave him millions of chances. And, you know, he found some of them and missed others. He's still fighting, though. I'm just going to be materialistic. Yes, I know you have 2 connected passed pawns, but it's too late, buddy. Too late to be great. And that's it. One last trick. He has... My rook is unprotected after bishop a2, bishop takes c4 check, king moves somewhere. It's awkward. So I have to take with a knight. Now it's actually protected. It's ugly. No stalemates. Alright, tough fight, Arsenal fan. Yeah, the final position decisive. Guys, I promised this guy I would play him, and I feel kind of bad about it. So I was supposed to leave already, but I'm going to accept this challenge from King Roddick. Sorry, everybody else. I've got to go. This is a casual game. I asked him to re-challenge me, and then I forgot about it. So, being true to my word, this is our last game for today. I will see you guys next Friday. Thanks to Soltigo. Thank you, everybody, for watching and tuning into the stream. You're always better, Arsenal fan. You're always better. In every game, you had a winning position. Just joking. Alright, let's go. Always torment your opponents after you win. Smug. You never had enough for an attack. I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. You might have been winning. You might have been losing. I'm really not sure. Anyway, guys, we're out of here. Thanks, Arsenal fan, for the game. Thanks for me and the Ponda and the other guy. Thank you for my voice acting. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you later. All right.
N-O.
No, not till Friday. Next Friday. King Roddick. All right, let's concentrate on the game. I don't think I was better, but I had enough compensation. I was concerned that you had a really strong attack with Queen G5 instead of G5, Arsenal fan. You might want to check that variation. Interesting move order here. The early A6 is not usually good, though, in this CDE knight takes D4. You can transpose to a bad position that I've played a lot here. Yeah. See, if he castles, he transposes to a game I had many years ago. This is actually a smart move. Knight takes D4. If he hadn't played that, he would have had a very bad position. But now it's okay. He's probably okay. I guess I could play C5, but then we get one of these like C5, D6, CD98 type of deals. So I might have nothing better than to actually transpose back into book here. This is one of many variations after D6 that we would transpose to some kind of theory. I've had some success against Nefedov and other people playing Queen H4. The normal line is actually like Queen D3, D6, Bishop D2. But I feel like it's kind of lifeless. Yeah, Arsenal fan, I might be hallucinating. I was imagining you had some crazy stuff with like Knight G3. But I guess that might not work. You know, if you try to play Queen G5, Bishop F1, Knight G3, sacrificing a piece, I mean, I don't know. It may just be like fantasy. Total fantasy by me. You know, that sort of thing could actually happen. Who knows? Alright, we're trying to be active. So far, King Roddick playing, you know, pretty standard stuff. He's got a fairly high classical rating of 1828, 1700 rapid, so his blitz rating is low, but his standard might be much higher than you would expect. However, this move is a really, really bad mistake. He played E5. I think that's like losing by force. Losing. He's losing by force here. I mean, maybe not by force. Let's see. He has rook E6 to protect. This is a terrible positional move, though, for black. Weakening himself. Knight E4 is strong. But rook E6 holds on. And then what? See, it's not going to be that easy. He's in a terrible, terrible pin. I don't see a forced win. I just say the word twice, no matter what I say. I'm being kind of materialistic. But what am I supposed to do? This actually knocks out the defender of the F6 knight. He can play H6 at some point, which is like likely his only defense. This could actually cause me to lose a pawn in some positions. So H6, bishop takes H6. How am I going to play this? You might even say I made a mistake by playing bishop H3 in the first place. And actually, what am I supposed to do? F4? Sack a piece or something? F4. He even has queen B6 check, then C5. You'd think this was dead for black, but bishop H6 will save him at some critical moment. I'm going to have to just settle for some sort of very, very small advantage, it looks like. I have bishop takes H6. H6, bishop takes H6, bishop takes H6, knight takes F6 check, queen takes F6, and then like queen takes H6. And I'll be up a pawn. But that's the only way he can really break out. Alright guys, I will be back next Friday. So after F5 you were completely lost? Arsenal. I didn't think it was that easy. So the computer says you're better after you won the piece. I'm not surprised. I mean, you had a lot of pawns on the queen side, and it was pretty weird. But for a computer, that's easy to play a chaotic position like that. Okay, guys. So h6, bishop takes h6, bishop takes h6, knight takes f6, check, we're a pawn up. And we just keep him at bay here. He should try b5, I guess. I mean, if b5, c5, it's a terrible pin. Of course, rook d1 was a better move, yeah. Rook d1. Probably more useful than playing b3. b3 was lame. Again, h6, bishop takes h6, bishop takes h6, knight takes f6 check. Queen takes f6. Well, I mean, my c4 pawn might be hanging at the end of those type of lines. You know, if I play rook d1, that's the only question, really. The only question. And then again, it'd be hanging here in some lines too. Is he getting out of this with h6? b5 was best move, I guess. Bishop h6. Bishop h6. Oh no, he played d5. Whoa. Okay, that's crazy. En passant. Oh man, I'm losing my mind. Okay. Didn't really calculate everything here. You know, fortunately I'm giving mate first, so he can't do anything weird. Nah, he's just lost. He lost a piece. So I got queen h6. Last game for today, guys. What do CPUs know anyway? I agree. Like in practice, very little. He found a way to defend this. Oh my god. What does this do? Like equalize? Are you serious? King Radek? You gotta be kidding me. He just saved the game with queen takes d6. Whoa. Bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6. I thought I was giving mate. Now he's like totally okay. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Now I'm actually losing if he finds the accurate move. Or is it? It's a funny variation, actually. Very little time. He'll have to settle for a draw here. Amazing defense by black. Thank you for support, guys. Donating bits here. Neil Swint today with a nice donation. And thanks, everybody. So we'll see you from Budapest next Friday. I think black is winning. No, I don't know about that. Queen e6, queen h6. I mean, queen h6, queen 8, queen e6, queen h6, f6, bishop takes f6. And then, like, I looked at rook f7, rook a7 or something like that. I mean, is he really winning? You can take a look after the game briefly. But I think he's equalized, which is pretty amazing, considering he was totally busto before. Just insane. I don't know if I have any advantage here. I mean, there's certainly some way he could go wrong. But it looks somewhat unlikely that I'm winning. Not impossible, but unlikely. Maybe we can win on time. It's about my only hope right now. That's a passive move, though. don't know if it gives me any real hope, though. Queen d7 doesn't do a lot. His queen is very strong. Rook e7. What would Magnus do? It would have been better to play rook e4, maybe. Let's go back and try it. You can maybe flag him, I don't know. But objectively, this is like not a winning position for me. We might have something here. Rook takes. Check. Check. I mean, rook takes f7 almost works. But I do have rook e7. I mean, after rook e7, thought I was better. I didn't see the sacrifice working. Yeah, if you consider his rating, he is playing very well, but there's also the factor that his rating, you know, is like 1800 in classical and 1729 in rapid. So I don't know, you know, there's anything suspicious about it overall. But he allowed a mate finally. His opening was disastrous, though. You know, I mean, it was totally lost. This was really absolutely crushed. Though the opening was tricky. He got out of the opening and then played rook e8, which is not a great move. He should have played d6. Then he played e5. This loses by force. Here he found rook e6, only move. I played what? Bishop h3. He plays this. I played b3, was slow. You guys who said I should have played rook d1. Actually, the computer likes my move b3. Okay. Here, now b5, looked logical. I played c5, and then he does d5, which is an insane move. I take here, and then he plays bishop takes h3. And apparently I should just play queen takes h3. But I didn't see that d6 was hanging in my mind. I thought, I'm just winning. So I played knight takes f6 check. I could have played queen takes h3 and just been a pawn up. But I played this, and this turns out to be a massive, massive blunder. Like after knight takes f6, bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, I just missed this. And I thought, oh, you know, I didn't see this. And then I'm not even better. Bishop takes e5. And for a second I thought I was losing, you know, with queen e6, obviously. But we're in a sort of situation of stasis. I thought I could actually play here. I think I can. You know, queen h6. I'm not actually losing. And I looked at f6. I actually looked this far. I looked at stuff like rook c7. But actually, he has no threats. You know, I could just move my rook or something. So this is fantasy. You know, I mean, he was never winning, but he was equal. And he did equalize because I played a lot of mistakes. And this is a dead draw, you know, this position. So, Lucha, thanks for hosting us at the 4 viewers. Bad at time control. So he blundered. It was a drawn position, but it wasn't easy. Thanks everybody for watching, and we will be back next Friday with more blitz from the European time zone. I think it'll be next Friday, 10 a.m. European or Central European time. I'll see you guys later. Central European summertime. I'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching. Thanks, Saltigo, for moderating the stream. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh. Bye-bye. All right, guys.